All right, ladies and gentlemen, um, this is labeled the worst podcast ever because it is the worst podcast ever. This is take two. I'm here with Nick and Tyler.
We haven't
Uh,
left yet. We haven't left the
Still
room
here.
yet.
yeah,
You're doing good. We're ready to go.
we just recorded about a little over a half hour of episode, and there was no volume. So that was already a problem, and we had actually already labeled it the worst podcast ever, joking around because we didn't have Zach as our tech producer. So it was like I was trying to go back and forth between the cameras, and so jokingly we called it the worst podcast ever, and then it ended up actually being the worst podcast
It
ever.
was horrible.
Yeah,
it was a bad job. So Tyler, this is your first podcast. Well, sort of technically second, but first time we're actually publishing
doing
this,
it right.
yeah, so lot to talk about. We got Thursday Night Football. We didn't really cover that when we originally.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
We didn't really cover that.
That's right,
We,
you're not.
we did talk about the Flyers briefly. Kolosov is hurt. Mitchkov's out. But Thursday Night Football tonight, we got the Ravens and the Bengals. I was just talking about this on the radio. I said this is a must-win for the Bengals. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. Baltimore's a great team. Cincinnati is a good team too, but they just really haven't found their niche. Lamar Jackson, obviously MVP candidate. He's great. Derrick Henry just proved everybody wrong. He is still so dominant, leads the league in rushing yards right now. They're just that kind of team. But also it's a division game. Can never count Joe Burrow out. Can never do it. Jamar Chase, he's great. And especially, like I said, division game. It's going to be a tighter matchup than what people think, and it's actually going to be I think it's going to be a great Thursday night game.
I agree. I don't think this will be like a blowout kind of game. I would pick the Ravens, but I could see Cincinnati being in this game the whole time. Like, they played the Chiefs tough. They play tough teams like that, and they're typically close. They're not a team that's been getting blown out or anything like that. So, yeah, I could see this game being close tonight, but I think the Ravens come out on top, and they take this game and they improve their record to 7-3. Sorry, guys, I am tired. This is a second episode we filmed, and then I was on the radio for an hour here at our college, so I'm tired.
What a guy. What a guy.
But we're here doing it anyway.
Yeah, we are.
Because
We love you. Because we
Yes.
love you guys.
Time.
We love you guys.
What's a talk to, anyways?
So yeah, Tyler, you said you wanted to carry this episode, so I'm putting all the pressure on you.
Put me on the spot there.
Yeah, I am.
All right, boys. Well, obviously, sports here is huge. I'm new to this, by the way. I'm going to be doing a lot of Instagram stuff, filling in for people that can't make it. That's just my storyline, pretty much. I love sports, and so I mean, first of all, speaking of sports, there's a lot of big things going around right now. NBA just kicked off about almost a month ago. The NHL kicked off a month ago. And, I mean, there's just some baseball. Dodgers win the World Series, which is a loss for America. Free agency is kicking in, and the NFL is just about in the middle of their I think they already reached the middle of their season. So there's a lot of big things. But let's start off. We just covered a little bit of football. Baseball, free agency. And there's some good free agents out there. I think people are very underestimating this free agent pool because they're only looking at one dude by the name of Juan Soto. But think about it. I mean, you got starting pitchers available, relief pitchers available, silver sluggers available, gold glove candidates. Everybody's available, and teams this offseason could really like make themselves pop out, like the Blue Jays, who really have to do some because they're just lost right now. But I mean, where do you guys think Juan Soto goes?
I'm gonna say so. Your brother asked me this the other day, and I said that I think Juan Soto will be returning to the Yankees, but I've changed my mind. I think Juan Soto will be signing a 10-year contract with the New York Mets this offseason. I think Steve Cohen will do whatever. He's stated that he'll do whatever it takes to get him, and I think it's going to happen. I think things would be different maybe if the Yankees won the World Series. It's going to be a little weird thinking that Juan Soto is only a Yankee for 1 year, But I do think Juan Soto ends up on the Mets this offseason and getting a ridiculous contract, over $600 million, 10 years. That's my prediction.
What about you, Nick?
I could definitely see him go to the Mets. I don't think it's gonna happen, but Red Sox would be cool because we were talking about that could be possible, but probably the Mets. But that's why there's free agency.
I can't see
Yeah.
Boston getting him, but it would be cool. Not for Yankee fans, but for everyone else to see a Yankee sign with the Red Sox in the offseason.
That would be awesome.
Especially if it's a top 5 player in baseball like Juan Soto.
Definitely. I have them. There's so many good teams out there, so many teams that want them. The Rays are even in that conversation, which is, I feel like, impossible. They can't even afford a new roof on their stadium. How are they going to afford $700 million? But at the same time, there are so many teams, and I feel like there's teams that aren't in the conversation that are going to be jumping in, and there's teams that are in the conversation that are going to be backing out. Just what happens. Philly, I'm a Phillies fan. Philly's not in the conversation. Quote on, they're not in it. I feel like they are. I mean, Soto has people over there. He played with Harper. He played with Turner. He played with Schwarber. He had K. Long as his hitting coach. He knows a lot of faces over there. Philly has the money to do it. They're gonna. Is it right? Is it the smart move? Because the Phillies are kind of in a win now situation. If you want to win now, I say pull it, do it, sign them, get them to Philly. But you can't count the spenders, aka the Dodgers, out. I mean, they'll spend $1 billion if they have to get him.
I don't really know if I want Juan Soto though. Like, if he's a great player, and obviously he would be a great fit on any team in the league, but I just don't think that's the smartest way we can spend our money. I think it would be better if we went out and re-signed Teoscar Hernandez, re-signed Walker Buehler, go out and get somebody like Max Fried, stack the pitching roster the best you can, because we did that this year, but then everybody got hurt. So we're going to need probably more than what we expected, because Glasnow was out for the year, Kershaw was out for the year, Dustin May was out for the year, Tony Gonsolin was out for the year, River Ryan got hurt. We called him up, he got hurt. Bobby Miller wasn't himself. Walker Buehler was hurt for a good amount of the season. Yamamoto was hurt for a good amount of the season. They had 12 starting pitchers on the IL at some point throughout the year, which has to be some sort of record. It was unbelievable. So I would like to go out and get somebody like Max Fried, or there was, who else is a free agent that's a pitcher?
Snell.
Blake Snell. Apparently we reached out about Blake Snell. I don't know how I feel about that, but I think another left-handed pitcher would be nice. But as a Dodger fan, I don't think Juan Soto is the right move for us personally.
But also keep in mind the kid is going to be 26 years old this upcoming season. He's going to be 26, but like you said, starting pitching really has been a key factor in keeping you guys out. You guys have won title since, what was it? When was your last? 88?
Okay. You're funny.
Because 2020 doesn't count.
Right. This guy's funny. Because if the Phillies won in 2020, you wouldn't have cared, right?
I wouldn't call it a win.
Okay. The parade would still be going on. If the
No,
Phillies won.
it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
There would still be people climbing poles and eating horse manure on the streets if they won that World Series, and you know it. Yeah, exactly. So, hopefully they can turn this into a dynasty, but we'll see.
You guys need pitching, and it's just been your downfall. I mean, look, you have Yamamoto, and I mean, let's just think about the last few years here. You had Bauer, you signed him. What happened? Then you had Urias.
Yeah.
One of the best pitchers in baseball, too, when it happened. He was good.
Yeah.
Cy Young candidate.
Mm-hmm.
He got in trouble. He's out. So all these different things, you just need that core, and then you want to like kind of get your farm system good too, because it's just a thing with the Dodgers. Their pitchers, you're not gonna have a full healthy starting five all year. So get some in your farm and get a reliable pitching service. Now, if you have to trade some of these guys that are already injury prone, you could do it. But you just need that core five, and if you have that core five, you guys are going to be great. So just get that situated. Sign someone like Snell, and yeah, or get Fried. Either way, just you guys need pitching.
Yeah, I would like one of them and re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. I think Teo should be a Dodger for life. Like I said, no need to go out and get Soto. Would it would we win more games with Juan Soto on our team? Of course, he's a top 5 player in baseball. We would have like 4 of the 5 best guys in the league. The only one we wouldn't have is like Aaron Judge. So I mean, it would be great for our lineup, but for the long run, I don't think it's the best move. And I think we leave that to either the Yankees or the Mets to go out and get Soto. And I think that's what it'll be. So I think it'll be Juan Soto to the Mets. That's my prediction. You said Mets,
Yeah.
and Nick said Mets, but Red Sox would be cool. And I would agree with that statement. But yeah. So Juan Soto, Teoscar Hernandez, I'd say I think we'll re-sign him, but that's still up in the air. I know he wants to come back, but if we are, this is one thing that concerns me. Apparently, Dave Roberts said that Mookie Betts is returning to the infield.
Yeah.
Next season. I don't understand why you do that when you won a World Series with him in the outfield. Why change anything? You won the World Series in 5 games. I don't know why you'd put the best right fielder in baseball back in the infield, but it's hard for me to complain as a Dodge fan right now when we just won the World Series. I'll try to stay positive, but I don't understand that move. The only reason I think they would be doing that is if they're making room for somebody in right field, and that somebody could be Juan Soto. That's what everybody seems to think on social media, but that's social media, so, like, you know.
Phillies are rumored for Teoscar Hernandez right now.
Where'd you see that?
Online.
Where online?
Can't say. I don't throw my sources out there, but
Oh, okay. Well,
Phillies are rumored.
I would rather sign Teo in some pitching than Juan Soto. That's just me. I know there are Dodger fans out there that would agree with me, but we'll see what happens. I think he'll be a Met, but there's a lot of good free agents out there. I think Max Fried will find a new home. I think Blake Snell will definitely find a new home. I can't see him returning to the Giants. He only spent 1 year there. He's gone in San Francisco. The Dodgers can't hit off him for whatever reason every time we play Blake Snell. So I would love to get him on our teams just so we don't have to face him.
Yeah.
Because he's been in the division for a while. He was with San Diego, then he was with San Francisco for a year. I would love to get him just so we don't have to play him.
He's a great starter, but the thing with him is you're going to need a bullpen behind him because he cannot go deep into games.
Right. I remember 2020 Game 6. They pulled him way too early it was the 5th or 6th inning. And there was no need for it. And he could have gone longer than that, and then the Dodgers won that game because of it. Who knows? Maybe we don't win that game or the series if that happens, but weird.
Either way, it didn't count. So I mean,
Yeah, right.
who remembers that?
Yeah, right. Anyways, the Cowboys and the Eagles play each other this week.
That's right.
Nick, how much are the Cowboys going to win by?
Win?
How much are the Cowboys going to win by this week, Nick?
I mean, they're not winning.
They're not?
No.
What do you mean they're not winning?
James, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, they're not gonna win this week. I don't. Yeah. They're not gonna do it.
What time is that game? Sunday at 1? Or is that?
That's gotta be 4:30.
425.
4:25.
Where is that game? Dallas?
Dallas?
Okay. Any predictions from you two?
They're not covering the spread.
It's going to be a close game because Dallas has a lot of injuries right now, and it's just how the Eagles and Cowboys always are. They're two teams, no matter if they have Taylor Swift playing quarterback, it'll still be close. And, I mean, Sirianni's just going to do his best job at taking points off the board for the Eagles. So, it'll be close. You guys could pull an upset.
No.
Dallas?
Nah. They're a horrible team.
Cooper Rush is nothing to lose.
No, I'm not saying he has nothing to lose, but they're a terrible football team. There's nothing good about them.
They're a terrible football team.
What else can I say? They're a bad football team. Their defense is a fucking joke.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
They can't
It was
Saquon.
just funny the way you said it.
Saquon's gonna have a legacy game. I can guarantee you that.
Probably.
100%. I said it last time. He's gonna start fucking backflipping over people. He's just gonna do whatever he wants.
That was crazy.
No, that was that was
nuts.
I never seen that in my life.
Backwards hurdle.
How are you athletic like that?
I don't
How
know.
do you even pull that off? The point where you can get your legs that high up.
How did he
His
even
legs were like here.
How do you even see him?
Well, I don't even know why you. I don't even know where you start thinking about doing that. Like, where in his mind was you like, all right, I'm just gonna jump over this guy backwards.
Someone with the history of like leg injuries, like why would you even think that, and how did he do it? How do you see the guy?
I don't know. That was
definitely clip of the week. I feel like there's nothing else that was even
that might
close.
be clip of the year.
Yeah, I don't think
Insane.
that was insane.
That was unheard of. But yeah, so the Cowboys will obviously win this week and they'll win the Super Bowl, like Nick said.
That's right. I said that.
Nick, I'm totally quoting you on that, by the way, on
Yeah.
the Instagram account. We're a
we're
terrible football team.
yeah, that's fine. It's true.
what he said.
It's nothing. That's not nothing wrong there.
Time to make the post right now.
Yeah, post it right now. Let's go. Like I said 5-12. They might not even get 5.
You did say 5-12. 2 episodes ago, we were clowning you for saying that they'd finish 5-12. A few episodes before that, you were saying that the Commanders would be better. Sorry, I almost slipped up there.
You did good. You did good.
You did
But-
great.
You said that the Commanders would be better than them when they were like 1-1. We were like, yeah, okay, like that's just ridiculous. You're being ridiculous now. Now they're 7-2, and you guys will be 3-6 if you lose this week. I think you might have been right.
No, I
Just,
had a feeling.
might have been.
Well, I just knew because Washington took everybody we had. They took Dante Fowler. They took
Rams
Well,
legend.
Lawrence Armstrong. Dan Quinn went there. That's huge for them. They took Biotish from our line.
Kingsbury. He's there. He's doing great over there.
They're having a great year.
Do the Commanders or Eagles win that division?
I think
I think they're too young in Washington. They have too young of a quarterback, but they could. You don't know.
I'm thinking Washington, especially. Well, I'm going by what you say. How Sirianni's blowing points off the board,
True.
and he is not like, hey, that Jacksonville game should not have been that close.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the remaining schedules. I'll leave this up to you two.
I think. Well, the only reason I'd also say Washington. Washington definitely has the easier schedule coming up. There's no way they don't.
they got a
Because
cakewalk.
they haven't made the playoffs in a couple. Or no, it's been like 2 years, 2-3 years. But
Right. But let's go through their schedules just for funsies. Eagles at Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Already
Oh, sorry,
lost.
Eagles.
All right. Home against the Commanders next week on Thursday night. That's a huge game.
I think Philly takes that one.
I think we take that one.
That would put them at 8-2. At the Rams.
We win that one.
Eagles should win, but I feel like that game's gonna be way closer than it should be.
That could be a Sirianni getting fired game.
That could. You know what? That'll just be fun. I'll go with the Rams on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying 8-3.
8-3. I'm saying 8-3.
Others saying 9-2. At the Ravens.
Loss.
Yeah. I see them. Let's lose that.
Okay.
8-4 now, right? So that's what I'm saying. You're saying 9-3.
Yeah. Home against the Panthers.
Yeah, they'll Philly take that.
I see loss there.
Home against the Panthers. You think
It's
they
going to be an
lose?
upset. It's going to be an upset.
Okay.
James, make the post. Make the post. He said
All
it.
right. Home against the Steelers.
Win.
I'll give him the win on that one. That's gonna be a good game though.
At the Commanders.
Washington.
Loss.
I'll take Washington on that one.
Home against the Cowboys.
Win.
Yeah, win.
And home against the Giants.
Win.
Yeah, win.
That would put them at 12-5 for both of you.
That
So,
seems right. That seems
12-5, splitting with the Commanders. Let's see the Commanders' schedule now. They're currently 7-2. They play the Steelers this week at home.
Steelers. That's gonna be a really good game. That's a tough one.
Let's just give it to the Commanders right now. Give
Okay.
it to Washington.
At the Eagles, you guys said they'd lose that
Yep.
game. Home against the Cowboys.
They'll take that one.
They'll win.
Home against the Titans.
Win.
They'll take that one.
At the Saints.
They'll take that one.
I think they lose that game.
Really?
You think so?
I think they lose that game.
All right.
Home against the Eagles.
They'll
You
take
guys
that
said
one.
they would win.
Yeah.
Home against the Falcons.
That's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be a good game.
I'm gonna give Atlanta that one.
Yeah.
And then at the Cowboys.
Washington.
So
Are we both 12-5? Or
according to your predictions, you guys have the Commanders at 13-4 and the Eagles at 12-5. So
Oh.
according to our schedule predictions, you guys have the Washington football team Commanders winning the NFC East.
I could say
Wow.
it could be either of them. I see Commanders more, but that's why I gotta play every game.
Daniels wins Rookie of the Year.
Oh, that's not even a question. He's been playing.
That kid's good.
He's been playing disgusting all year. especially when we made that bet, James. That
Oh yeah, it was like week 3, and or week 2 or something, and I was like, Commanders won't beat the Bengals. The Commanders stink, and then they beat them. They were up like 11 with 2 minutes left, and I lost fantasy that week because Jaden Daniels threw up a bomb to the end zone when they could have just ran the ball to run the clock out.
right to McLaurin. Right? You were playing against
I was playing against Jaden Daniels.
Jane Daniels, that's right.
That bomb to the end zone, and that lost me the week. So
How about that Hail Mary?
Yeah, that's that was an insane clip because you saw the Bears defender talking shit to somebody over, and then he's the one that comes over and tips it right to Noah Brown.
Dude, I would have cut him, bro. That's inexcusable.
That had to be addressed in
The locker room. You got to bring that up.
What is going through your head? The game's not over. You're turning around taunting to the fans while the guys are running up, and then last second you run over and tip the ball up.
Yep, he's the one that tipped it too, which is the funniest part.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. If I was in charge over there in Chicago, I would have got him. I don't care who you are. You can't be unless you're like the best player on the defense. You're gone.
And looking at the big picture, they lost to Arizona the next week. So now what are they? They're 4-4. They're 5-4.
They're 4-4 now.
They're 4-4.
Chicago, yeah.
They could have been 5-3 or whatever it was, but then they blew it that one last play. That's why I like Washington to win that division. They're staying in those games. They haven't had one. The only bad game they've had was week 1 against Tampa, and that was just because it was just week 1. But
that was just their defense that looked bad.
Yeah, Daniels had a good.
They lost like 37-27 or something like that.
Yeah, Daniel. I don't think Daniel scored, but no, I think he probably had a rushing touchdown.
Because he rushed one in.
And then they won the next week against the Giants with 7 field goals. It was 21-18.
But then they found their stride.
Yeah, and then that's why going into that Cincinnati game, week 3, I was like, okay, they didn't even score a touchdown against the Giants. They're not going to beat the Bengals. That's why I made that bet with you. And Jaden Daniels has the game of his life, and then everyone was like, Jaden Daniels is for real. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But, yeah, you guys have the Commanders winning the division according to our predictions. The Commanders 13-4, Eagles 12-5. Nick, do you still have the Cowboys going 5-12, or has it gotten worse now?
It's probably gonna be worse. If Dak's not in, I don't know what they're gonna do. I really have no idea what they're gonna do at this point.
And at this point in the season, like if you guys, let's say, how long is Dak supposed to be out? Like
4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks. Let's say he's out 5 weeks. If he's out 5 weeks, and
just
you guys
sit him.
lose all 5 of
just
those
sit
games,
him.
At that point, the season's over.
Well, the season's already over. This team is there's a
in
broken.
the locker room. It's not because they're 3-5. They win this week. They're 4-5.
They're not gonna.
You know,
They're not. They're not good enough team.
We know the Cowboys are doing nothing this year, but the Cowboys aren't in the locker room going, "Oh, season's over. We're done." I hope.
I honestly I have no evidence to say that they're doing that, but the way they play, they don't care at all. They're a shitty football team. That's literally all I could say.
And Jones is doing nothing about it.
No, Jerry will never do anything about it.
What do you mean? You guys picked up that receiver who has 1 yard in like 3 months.
That's right.
Shoot.
Isn't
Future
that
star.
the stat? He has like 1 yard in like 3 weeks or something like that.
He has 100 yards in the year. I think that's what all it was.
That's something.
So we traded a 4th round pick for him too. We traded a 4th for that, and then we got a 5th for Amari Cooper a couple years ago. I just want to put that in perspective. Is that we got Amari Cooper? No, we gave away Amari Cooper for a 5th. D Hop went to the Chiefs for a 5th, and you see how great that's looking so far.
Yeah.
That his first game was incredible. He had 2 touchdowns and I don't forget how many yards he had, but
D Hop is still better than what people think. I feel like.
Yeah, I kind of wrote him off. I would say the Titans is a place to die probably because that team is a mess. Especially getting rid of Vrabel. I don't know what the point of that was, but because I'm just looking at the way they have Pollard there. He's such a good back. I still love Tony Pollard, but
I don't blame you.
He can't do anything there. He's playing well, but he has no chance of winning there, and that's the sad part about it.
What is Tennessee even gonna do? Like, if they're like, are they gonna draft a quarterback in the draft this year?
They have to.
I guess they have to.
They're gonna be low enough to get one.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they have like the 2nd or 3rd pick, let's say, are they drafting a QB or are they drafting something to build around Will Levis?
I don't know.
Probably.
I would say draft a QB.
Right, but
at this. I
they only
mean,
drafted Will Levis, 2 years ago? That was their second round pick. He
well,
fell to the
hold
second
on. You
round,
got you got to
surprisingly.
put this in perspective. What's the class for next year for quarterbacks?
That's a good question. I guess we don't officially know yet, but
I do have an alert, guys.
Big news.
Juan Soto reportedly has a meeting scheduled with a top suitor.
Okay.
Let's see who it is. Please don't make it who I think it is.
Here we go.
This is big news right now.
It is.
Huge news. November 7th, Mets set to visit Soto.
Wow. So on this podcast, on this episode, we said that he'll sign with the Mets, and now he's meeting with the Mets. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Soto is meeting with the Mets today. He's meeting with them today.
Yeah, that's November 7th.
That's today.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, very quick.
That's quick.
I feel like he was already that
Was
open
Dylan
to.
was Dylan right?
Maybe Dylan was right. Yeah, Dylan texted Tyler before, or called him and was like, the Mets just signed Juan Soto. And he was like, no, they didn't, because they didn't. But, I mean, if they meet today, it could happen in the next few days.
Please no.
We'll see what happens. Could Juan Soto be a Met? We'll
That's
find out.
that's a great move by them if they can pull that off.
Now,
That's a good
then
move.
the question is this: do they win that division now? Very possible.
You can never count Atlanta out.
No, I know, of course not. But still, yeah, that's for the question.
I don't think they win the division unless they do something else. I know their starting pitching looked great in the postseason, but they need some starting pitching.
Now, hold on. Since Alonso's still not, as Alonso's a free agent still, right?
Yeah.
Is him signing back with that? Not, I wouldn't say guarantee it, but would that make the chances higher, or are you going by that he's still on the team?
Yeah, I mean, it makes the chances higher. I think if Soto, because Uncle Steve, like, he has a ton of money. He doesn't care. He'll drop $2 billion if he has to. He does not care. If Soto signs, that means Alonso's going to want to stay because, I mean, now you're looking at a team that it's going to be even more competitive. They went to the NLCS based off with each other. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in baseball, ended up in the NLCS, beat the Phillies out like the Phillies were nothing. And now if you bring a guy in like Soto, that's going to motivate Uncle Steve even more to get more additions, and I think Alonso's going to be in it for the long run as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think he's going to be a Met, and I could see them getting. I think here's my prediction: if they sign Soto, Alonso's gone. That's my prediction.
You think?
I think so. I don't think they probably have the money to sign both, but do you want to spend that much money in the same offseason on two guys? Because they can probably find somebody decent enough with a higher batting average than Pete Alonso at first base. I'm not saying a better player than Pete Alonso, but if you're going to give all that money to Juan Soto, I don't know how much money they really have to do Soto and Pete Alonso for the long run.
They got the money.
Do you think the Mets need somebody else for their batting order?
They get Soto and re-sign Alonso.
That's what I'm thinking. If you re-sign Alonso, because he was doing much better in the postseason, wasn't he? I might be wrong in that, but I feel like he was playing a lot better than.
Alonso.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit that clutch home run in Game 3 of the wild card. Yeah, I mean he was doing pretty good.
Alonso had a few clutch moments in the playoffs.
Yeah,
So,
he hit a few against us.
yeah, he had the home run in Milwaukee to keep their season alive. They would have been a wild card round exit.
Yeah,
He didn't hit that home run in the ninth inning. And then he hit a 3-run homer off of Jack Flaherty in the NLCS. Didn't really end up mattering, but still a big home run.
They went to what, 5 or 6 games?
I went to 6 games. We went to 6 with them, and then we went to 5 with the Yankees. So
after that home run, that just made the Mets just think even more like we could actually do this thing. Like that gave them all the confidence in the world because they got in the playoffs. They were confident. They didn't care what happened. Then Alonso does that, and they're like, all right, like we're ready to go. We don't even care what happens. Like we came this far already, and they just dominated.
yeah, it was an interesting round of postseason. It was a really, I know it seems biased because my team won the whole thing, but there were some very good playoff moments this playoff round.
Yeah.
Like, it was a, for viewership, it being Yankees Dodgers, I'm sure is what the MLB wanted, with probably the two biggest fan bases in baseball, the two most historic franchises, two teams that have been around for forever, for over hundreds of years. So it was a great postseason. You know what sucks, dude? Like, the Dodgers won the World Series, so I can't complain about it. But baseball doesn't start for like another 6 months. This
Horrible.
is the worst part of the year for us. Like,
Not the Flyers are terrible, definitely.
yeah, dude, that's the thing about the Flyers, bro. Like, I was so looking forward to this season. Like, I was so ready for it. I was counting down the days on my Twitter. Like, I was hyped up for this Flyers season. And now our two starting goalies are hurt. Mitch Cobb is scratched, which just does not make sense at all. Mitch Cobb won't play tonight against Tampa Bay. I really don't get it, but we're gonna have to find it tonight. We have to find a place to watch that game tonight, the three of us.
Figure it out. I don't know what the plan is yet, but
We'll have to figure it out.
figure it out.
Might be able to do my house. I don't know,
We'll see.
but
I mean, we'll find somewhere.
yeah,
That's much more.
fun place.
Go to Applebee's.
Could go to Applebee's.
There you go.
I just spit that out.
Roadhouse.
Roll challenge.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting day to say the very least.
Definitely.
It's been
It's
fun.
a little bit of a shorter episode just because we technically recorded two. Thankfully, next week we'll have our goated tech producer back, Zach Porcella, which we definitely need, which is why this is called the worst podcast ever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys follow our TikTok. We got Braden McCabe and Charlie Jones running the TikTok. They're doing a great job. Tyler and his twin brother Dylan are running the Instagram. And then you got Nick, Dylan Lawyer, and I on the podcast every week. Lawyer couldn't be here this week, so we got Tyler to fill in for him. So a good debut from Tyler, I think, is safe to say. But
Absolutely.
yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Love you guys.